this is not literally his greatest fear, but I take his point. His sister, thoughtful at 8 years old, looked out the window at the traffic and said absently, "My biggest fear is hurting someone else." And there you have it. They neatly excavated two kinds of vigilance, neither a sucker nor a scammer bee. The mark. A mark is a chump, the pawn in a rigged game, the con artist's target. In mid-century lingo, a mark had to be cooled out because he would get so upset that he might throw the whole game into disarray. Being conned does feel terrible. You can probably make yourself cringe just thinking about playing the fool, a loser both literally and socially. The mark is a special kind of victim with a particular penchant for self-loathing. It can be helpful to try a little thought experiment to see what makes the sucker experience singular. Imagine, one afternoon you get an alert from your bank that there is a suspicious charge on your account for $20.50 put through 1 hour ago. The charge appears to be associated with a website called easygames.com, a site you have never heard of, much less provided with your credit card information. The customer service agent from the bank tells you that it's certainly a fake company, likely deployed by hackers who test random digit strings and sometimes get lucky. The bank will refuse the transaction and you won't lose any money. Okay. Now, imagine slightly different facts. An hour ago, you did give your credit card information out, and you did authorize a charge for $20.50, but not to easygames.com. An affable young representative from an international children's fund was tabling outside your grocery store, asking people to give $20.50 as part of their End Child Poverty by 2050 campaign. It's not the sort of thing you would usually stop at, but the photos were compelling, and the guy at the table was pleasant, and naturally you are in favor of ending child poverty. When you get the alert from the bank, you realize something has gone wrong. A neighborhood listserv confirms your suspicions with a warning about the charity scammers outside of the supermarket. You thought you were helping impoverished children, but you were paying a con artist. You give the bank an abbreviated version of this story, and again the customer service agent agrees to block the charge. You won't lose any money. In either case, the only material loss is a couple of minutes on the phone with the customer service agent, a little bit of hassle. The outcome to your bank account is the same, whether you are a random victim or a cooperative dupe. But for most people, these two scenarios feel very different. The hack is a minor annoyance, frustrating but not a cause for self-recrimination or shame. Getting conned is painful in a deeper and more complicated way, a lesson that sticks with its mark long after the bank records have been corrected. It implicates the sense of self. What was I thinking? How could I be so stupid? And it also feels like a faux pas. Socially speaking, fools get little sympathy and a lot of scorn. There is something deeply disruptive about the feeling, or even the anticipation, of a fool's betrayal. It makes sense that we want to avoid bad feelings. There is a reason you don't leave your door unlocked or your life savings on the front porch. Things you value need to be protected. In the familiar cultural narrative, each mistake, wooden nickels, easy games, Dr. Phil, is an opportunity for learning. Once burned, twice shy. But we talk less about the costs of being excessively wary. What lesson will you take from your brush with the scammer? And what shadows will it cast the next time you want to be generous or open-minded? I am a professor of contract law with a graduate degree in psychology, so I am pretty comfortable with the idea that people care a lot about betrayals. Contract disputes are naturally about suckers, or at least about people who feel like suckers when their deals fall apart. Nervous potential chumps occupy a lot of my day-to-day professional attention. My original interest in fools, though, started from another side of my academic life. I finished law school in 2005, but I did not take the bar and become an attorney. While I was in law school, I had grown increasingly occupied with how regular people perceive their legal rights and obligations. Instead of getting a real job after graduation, I stayed in school for 3 more years and completed my PhD in experimental psychology. I was most curious about decisions that forced people to navigate